this shit's gonna be hard for a couple of y'all to watch, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So, today's topic, because I don't want to record anything educational today, because I just came back from whole convention that was hella educational. Then I also came back from vacation. So, I'm gonna choose what I want to talk about today, which is how to not the 30-second intro. How to not end up like your parents. Hi! Come here! But, can I do a cat cameo? I have not been able to get my cats in the video. Come here! Oh! Come here! Say hi! There go. Anyways, so on today's topic, we're gonna talk about how not to end up like your parents, because that shit's easier said than done. People are like, well, I am not my parent. Stop lying to yourself. You know you do. You know those habits of when you get angry, you act like your mom, or those habits of your dating habits look like your mom, or your dating habits look like your dad, or maybe you're emotionally unavailable, or maybe you're racist because of your parents. And you know, it's not okay, but the first step is to admitting and being aware that you are, and that's okay, because that's the first step. So, it's not a judgmental zone here. This is a safe space on my channel. Yeah. And so, I'll give you the quickest answer, and then I'll dive down deeper into this topic, because most of y'all can't do this. Quickest answer. The quickest answer to not end up like your parents: move out. That's it. Quickest way to unlearn all those behaviors is to move out, live by yourself, pay your own bills, do as much as you can independently, and that's how you figure yourself out. That's how you unlearn all the habits, whether they're good or bad. Sometimes you keep the good habits and things like that. And yeah, I mean, for those that moved out, they probably watched this and they're like, be good. But also to add on to that, that is just the first step. Moving out does not entirely change you. It could take years, depending on how self-aware and how much progress you're doing yourself, because self-progress and changing who you are as a person depends on the person. For some people, they avoid themselves even though they moved out, and it could take years for them to actually change. So everyone is on their own path. It's never linear. But yeah, so that is the first, I guess, rule of thumb to not be like your parents. Unfortunately, I guess, not unfortunately, but I guess it depends, because there's pros and cons to staying with your parents, but there's more, depending on the family situation, there's more cons. And I know a lot of people stay with the family because it's more financially better. And so, and I know I have students that also watch this. So, one step is to, number one, is to spend this, don't take it as a mean thing. Spend less time with your family and spend more time with yourself or others, but also more on the yourself than others part. Even like, don't fill your time with just friends and people and hanging out, because you need to figure yourself out as a person. So heavy on the solitude, heavy on sports or whatever you do, schooling, things like that, figuring yourself out, taking out unself dates, like doing things by yourself. And I know for some people that is scary, but you're not gonna be able to know who you are if you're out here just doing everything for everybody but yourself. And so that's the quickest answer I could give you. When you are doing that, make sure that you're training yourself, whether that's mentally or physically as well, because what people oftentimes forget, because I've seen both spectrums, and I have been on both spectrums. And so if all you do is work out, you're literally only training your physical body. And so you may look nice or jacked or lean or have that hourglass figure, but it ain't shit also if like you can't think for yourself. But on the other spectrum, of course, there's always the other side of the coin, which is like you worked out your brain so much and mentally you're smart, you know, understand people, things like that, but then your health is at risk because you're not taking care of your health. And so you gotta find that medium of where you're doing that both. And so I do follow some content creators. I think his name is June. I probably tag him in below. But one of the oh my god, they're already doing fireworks. It's not even July yet. That scared me. Anyways, what was I even saying? The quickest way. Not the quickest. No, I'm all over the place now. Four things. He calls it the 4 wins. I think it was like spiritual, physical, like a workout, reading, and something else. But go check out his page. But make sure every day that you're checking those things off, because if not, then you're not growing as a person. It sounds lame, but do aim to be 1%, at least 1% better than yesterday, because if not, you're gonna be the exact same person. And it is the same people who are like complaining about their lives and not doing shit. And that's why the life is not changing, because they're not doing shit. They're too busy being keyboard warriors, commenting on other people's life than looking inward. And so it's easy to project. It's easy to be a villain. It's easy to be a bitch than to actually be a person who looks inside themselves. Look at yourself and be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, what are my blind spots? What are my toxic traits? You know, like, what am I doing that doesn't benefit me? And it's not just like being a bitch or starting drama. It can also be people pleasing. People pleasing, just because it sounds like you're nice to other people, it's not. You're being a bitch to who? To your fucking self. That's who you are. You're being a bitch to yourself. You're basically saying, I don't respect myself, and so I'm people pleasing. And so yeah, if you think about it like that, you're just like, damn, shit. So yeah, other things that you should do on top of spending time with yourself. So when you're spending time with yourself and also trying to, because most of the times, depending on what generation you are, like if you're first gen, second gen, third gen, your family or your parents or your sisters, they all grew up with different set of beliefs, or they probably are similar. But if you're trying to, I guess, kick out that software that they have built into you, because if you think of it, you're kind of like, I mean, we're all humans, but if you think about it, like, we're kind of like a built-in software in a sense. Your parents has given you data as you were a child on how you see the world, how you see different races, how you see different people, how you see the world is data that your parents or your family members have been giving to you. And so that's why no one really thinks 100% the same, because our upbringing is so different. And so I had to step away for a moment. But in order to shed the identity and to basically, in technical terms, update your software, you have to feed it data, correct? It's kind of like AI, like trying to make this like simple, not overcomplicate things, because I tend to like, sometimes in like real life conversations, I tend to like talk in like sociologically, like master level type of discussion, and most of everyday life you don't like I remember talking to my friend the other day, and like we both said basically the exact same thing, but I said it differently and she said somewhere else. Where like we thought we were disagreeing with each other, but when I started to like just let her talk and yap, I was like, hey, I just said the exact same thing but in different fonts. And so I don't know, I guess more analogies. Y'all let me know if I'm explaining this shit right. But in order to shed your old identity and to be different from your family, you have to feed yourself with new data. You have to feed yourself with data that goes against your current data set in order to see if there's cross correlations, or if your current data that you have is wrong. And so that means like reading financial literacy books. So financial literacy is like, I don't know, money. So reading about stocks, reading about savings, reading about how your savings account, reading about taxes. Find resources online. They're free. Content creators, they do it for free. They even offer free like sessions and offer free trainings. Most of the content creators that are, I don't know, blue checkmark and famous, like then that won their own businesses that are successful, they all have free content. Of course, they're all selling something because they have a business, but on average, all of them that I've seen so far, they offer free resources on YouTube. I mean, they still get money off of it because it's monetization of the views, but that is free and it's nothing out of pocket to you. And so that is one way that you can start. First of all, is that follow content creators where you want to be. That is the first step, because on average, we ourselves are creatures of habit, and so we have to change what we see first. And I think the easiest, with the less risk, is changing what you consume via media, because it's easier to change what you consume than to drop all of your friends at the moment in order to find people where you want to level up, because it takes time for you to find people where you want to be in life. That takes a hot minute, and so I've lived that, I learned that. And so best way to change your mindset is what you consume. Everything from social media, I'm talking about TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. You are what you consume. And so make sure, I mean, if some things are not good for you, like time limit that, because you want to make sure that your brain is not that brain rotted to the max, so like balance is key. Next is also go out there. So depending on your budget and your age, this can vary obviously, because on one end, if you have money, your own job, your own car, you're able to travel, you're able to see other stuff. I've built my way up where like I pay to go to events and conventions and things like that because I think it's worth it. Because networks and connections are very important. So you get to build that way up, but obviously you have to start from somewhere. And so just change your surrounding, whether that's going to a new coffee shop, going to a new neighborhood, depending on where you live, like go outside of your city to go to a nice coffee shop, or go to an area where it's like there's gonna be business people there is gonna be networking. Go to events, start off where it's free, and then get to know people and like practice talking to people. I mean, practice makes perfect. And so you change your media, you change what you consume. Eventually you change your friends. When you level up, you will change friends. That's normal, and not in the like toxic way where like you are. I mean, some of them will be toxic. I mean, the more you grow up, you realize some of them are toxic, but some of them, they just generally just are good people, and so you just spend less time with them. You don't have to kick them out of your life. Simple as that. Consuming media, change that. You change your physical, which is your environment. So updating software, and you're also updating what you see. What else? I think, yes, I did do a video about networking. I think it's supposed to come out, I don't know when it comes out, but I should be able to tag this video, but if not, it'll be on my YouTube channel soon. But I did do a video about the importance of networking, and also how to tell if a person is a good person. And so, especially in real life, because people act very differently online versus in person, and you're able to catch you're just able to know. If you know, like you're able to see people's microaggressions, you're able to see people's attitudes, and they can only fake it for so long until it eventually the cat's out the bag, and you're just like, yeah, I see your true character. But it'd be like that, And obviously, find ways on being able to, I don't know, because I haven't answered this question myself, not to be too independent and too self-reliant. Not too self-reliant, what I'm saying. I mean, there's a fine line of like becoming the lone wolf versus you still need people in your life, because humans are community creatures, if that makes sense. Like we need other people to feel alive. And so make sure that if you're on that journey of being a lone wolf, that you're not totally self-isolating yourself, because that shit can get dark really quick, and the damage to your mental health will go downhill. Yeah. The more you ignore your mental health, the bigger the crash out later. So take care of yourself, mentally and physically. That's how you outgrow yourself and other people around you. If you're mad or sad or disappointed, or just like, I don't know how to change my fucking life, well, look at yourself first. Look at the people who you hang out with. Not to sound mean, look at your parents, look at your sister, look how you grew up life, where you went to high school with, all the choices you made today, and that will give you a little bit of insight on how you ended up where you're at today. Obviously, as a sociological student, you know, environment plays a part, income plays a part, race plays a part, gender plays a part. I know all of that, but there is a duty. This is opinion based, by the way. There is a small duty, there is a big duty actually on your behalf to change who you are as a person. And one good thing about where I live, which is that we do get some type of support financially, either from college scholarships. I know it's being attacked right now, but you know, food stamps, social welfare assistance, like you do get something compared to like other countries where like if you dare to speak up, you will literally get chopped, like out, KO, no response, no nothing, like you dead. And you, I don't know if you believe in the afterlife, but you respond there, I guess. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that yes, you may not seem like you have a lot to upgrade in your life, or that's either because you're comparing yourself to someone who's way ahead of you, or you're comparing yourself to a social media that person has, you know, networks or parents or things like that that you don't have. And so what does that say? Comparison is the thief of joy. And so don't do that, because you're gonna be, long story short, you're gonna be too busy comparing yourself to other people than actually putting in the work to better yourself, because you're too busy being like, well, I can't do that because they have good parents, or they have good money, or because of XYZ. You're gonna end up making so, like, by the time you finish with your fucking bullshit 50th excuses of the day or the week, you haven't done bad shit at all. And so that's on you for sitting and complaining and sitting with other people who all they do is complain and don't have their priorities together. And so yeah, once you surround yourself with people who won in life and have accomplished something, your mindset will change, and you just realize that, like, I did all that shit talking for nothing. And so yeah, that's how you go out of your old identity and upgrades. And then hopefully that one day, if depending on what age you are or how dependent or reliant you are on your parents, you one day be able to live on your own, and self-discovery happens, and so much more. And so yeah, that's basically it. I don't think I have anything else in my head to give you. No, my mind is blank. Totally blank. It's like a box, you open it and there's nothing inside of it. So I will adjourn this video. I hope this has helped, and maybe I'll find some resources that relate to self-discovery and how to unshed old mentalities. There is probably resources out there. So yeah, I'll let you guys go. Peace out. Have a good life. Bye.